Any question you would like to ask?
You explain the dual scales of Maya?
Pardon?
Dual scales of Maya.
Dual. What do you mean by dual scale?
Um, there cannot be a single energy. Every energy has to be balanced by an equal and opposite energy.
Maya means illusion, all what we see, which is not reality. What is there to do with negative and positive energy?
I think, for instance, Newton's law, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And isn't this Maya? We're kept going back and forth and back and forth. And I'll give you an example. For instance, I think many people in the Western world, they're looking for someone to love very much. And if we find someone that we love very much, do we have to go through the opposite energy and have to find someone we hate very much to balance the two energies?
It is the same mind. Same mind. Whether you same mind hates somebody and same mind loves somebody. Mind is same. You call it negative emotion, positive emotion, that is your own way of analyzing the thing. Mind is same. Sometimes it is projecting to be in love, sometimes projecting to be in hate. It's not independent of each other. Mind is same.
If we experience one, doesn't that also mean we have to experience the other? Balance it out.
If you want to know the balance of Maya, reality, this is unreal, that is real, that's all. Now, whether Maya go on analyzing into millions things, this is all Maya, all illusion. Yes.
While doing Simran, I can't hold the face of the master, like I can't visualize it. So what I do is I just imagine that the master is sitting in front of me, and then I look to where I imagine he's sitting and then say my Simran to him. Is that okay?
That's what I say. You imagine you are sitting in the presence of your master doing Simran. That will also help you to hold your attention there. Yes.
Is it possible to concentrate at the eye center and see light without dhyan?
Yes. You see, I have said so many times, Dhyan is not must, it's a great help. Even without Dhyan, you can hold your attention in the darkness till you see the light. But it becomes a help.
Dhyan are not similar. Can you?
No, Simran you must continue. Simran you must continue. Dhyan you can be in the darkness. You can be in the darkness. That is also Dhyan. Trying to hold your attention in the darkness there and doing Simran.
If we're not contemplating on the form of the master, are we not contemplating on something else automatically?
You see, if you have seen the master and nothing like it, that's what I say, it's a help. It's not a must. Yes.
Master, I had a question concerning our posture in meditation. In order to keep the back straight in a vertical position, at least in my beginning stage, I feel I have to tense certain muscles in order to stay straight.
It's not essential. Posture is only from the health point of view. You should never stretch your body too much. Whatever comfortable way you can sit, you can adopt that. It has its own advantage from the physical point of view. Our office chairs are straight, our dining chairs are straight. You see, doctors say generally the backbone should be kept straight in work. From that point of view.
For example, most of the Indian people, I assume, meditate in the yoga position
Yes.
without back support.
Yes.
Are their bodies completely relaxed? Or are there always certain muscles in the back that have to keep the back up?
You can lean against the wall. Why should you like to copy Indians? If you want to sit in the yoga posture, then you lean against the wall. You have a cushion behind you. And even yoga posture is not essential. You can sit in a chair, any comfortable way. Yes.
I'm confused about the conception of prasad.
About the
Conception of prasad. And I don't know if it is so personal that I should bring any prasad to anybody else.
I've not followed your question. What is the question here? A little louder.
I'm confused about the conception of prasad.
That I have understood. What is the question?
If I shall bring prasad to my husband and to my children.
I don't know what is confusing you, the conception of bhajana. The more our mind is scattered into this creation, we are more confused. The more mind is able to be withdrawn to the eye center or concentrated at the eye center, we are more relaxed and more happy. And less confused. What?
God.
Well, if you want to, you can. But generally it is given always for the person, but there's no harm if you want to share with them.
And if I take something to the prasad into you, and I think it's for my husband, is right.
Hmm?
If she brings something to the prasad interview, some prasad, and
Yes, you can bring it, there's no problem. That is why I interview people, you see. I discuss with them, I talk to them, I give opportunity to meet them. Yes.
When meditating, if I'm wide awake, my mind is wide awake, I have a lot more difficulty staying still and concentrating than when I'm a little bit tired. When I'm a little bit tired, I can relax better. But then I a lot of times fall asleep.
That relaxation must be of sleep.
When I'm a bit tired, I can sit and not. When I'm wide awake, I'm restless. I'm more scattered. But I thought the whole idea of it was to be wide awake and concentrate.
You mean mind is more active.
Wide awake, yeah. A lot more.
So you should also be very active to pull it back. In similar.
Without any expectation, is this meditation?
What expectation?
Without any. To love something.
To love something is meditation.
To love something, a person or anything, without any expectation from it. Is this meditation?
How can it be? How can loving somebody becomes meditation? I don't understand.
If the love for itself is a kind of meditation.
Love for the Father, not for the world. Love for the Father is meditation. Father is love. Without meditation, you cannot develop that love for the Father. Because it's only meditation which helps you to detach yourself from the worldly love and create love and devotion in you for the Father. Yes?
And when I'm doing Simran, I'm easily building up a pressure which is difficult to relax.
Well, brother, if we try to unconsciously try to invert our eyes within and try to find something within, search something within, or try to focus any particular point, then of course this type of tension will remain there. We should just close our eyes and forget about them. Whatever you may see within, these eyes have nothing to do with it. It's unnecessary to strain them, unnecessarily, physically. So you just close the eyes and forget about them. Then there will be no tension at all. Mentally be here in the darkness.
The attention is the most important.
Yes. I'm not following your question.
It's not so difficult for me to keep an attention, but when I use Simran, then I build up a lot of pressure. When I use the words in Simran.
You see, you may be unconsciously trying to look something within along with your Simran. Or find something within. Then without our knowing it, sometimes we try to physically invert our eyes within. We try to find something within. You just be in the darkness and do Simran. Then there will be no tension at all. Simran rather relaxes us. You can see your blood pressure before meditation and then after meditation. You will see the difference yourself. Yes? Yes, please.
In London, I asked you a question about fear of the darkness, and in your answer, your reply, you said that I should learn to love the darkness. And my fear of the darkness has left me. I'm no longer afraid, thank you. But I'm having some difficulty learning how to love the darkness. And the darkness seems to have no substance, thus I don't know what to love.
You see, when we are sitting in meditation, we should think that we have no connection with anybody else in the world except this darkness in the forehead. We should cut off from everything in the world and just be in the darkness of the forehead. This is what I mean by being in love with the darkness. To concentrate here in the darkness. You have no other thoughts of the world. Automatically this darkness will change into light. Yes?
I read in Science of the Soul that it's good to do Simran before we sleep, but it's not good to do bhajan. And I was wondering why that was.
What did you read that?
Science of the Soul, Jagat Singh's book.
Yes, what?
He said it's very good to do Simran before we sleep, but it's not so good to do bhajan, or it's not as good, or something like that.
No. What he advised was that while going to sleep, it is better to keep your mind in Simran and sleep.
Sometimes if we only get to our meditation at night, it's okay to do it, isn't it?
Yes, of course, you can do it. You can sit in meditation anytime, it's okay. There's no particular time for meditation. All time is good for meditation. Yes.
The disciple has to take another birth. Is it the master who decides his destiny in the next birth, or is it Cal?
If the disciple has to take another birth, then
Cal that has to do with his karmas in the next birth, or is it the master who decides where he should go and
See, karmas have to be paid within the realm of Kal. So Kal is concerned. All karmas have to be cleared within the realm of the Kal. It cannot be cleared anywhere else. So Kal is also affected by it. But assurance is by the master that he will ultimately be taken back to the Father.
you said that the master will pick a better situation for spiritual power.
Certainly.
Maybe the master decides instead of Cal.
You see, it's the same thing, there's no difference. Decision may be done by any agency. Okay, which karmas one has to come for the destiny, but all karmas have to be paid in the realm of Kal. So it's immaterial as long as the karmas have to be paid in the realm of Kal, either by meditation or by going through it.
Sit on the astral plane.
Hmm?
I've heard that you can do your meditation and not come back.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Attitude of your mind is always towards the Father, is towards the Shabad.
If you don't take another birth, there's a plane of existence where
you can rub your karmas with the Shabad and finish them there.
Where is that?
It's certain concession to the to the initiates. Otherwise, everybody has to come here to clear the karmas. Yes.
Why is it more beneficial to do the meditation here?
Naturally, there is so much agony, so much misery all around, so much unhappiness. So we think more of God. If we all given the pleasures of life here, we will never think about the Father. When we get pinpricks here and there, we automatically think about the Father.
Totally oriented towards the Lord on
Pardon?
the plane.
Pardon?
If we don't have to take another birth, and we, as you say, finish the meditation within, isn't the mind more directed towards the Lord within, more so than here?
Yes, but the progress is very slow. Mind will be directed towards the Lord, but progress is very slow. This is the top of the creation. From here we can make much more progress than there. Yes.
Master, how much flexibility is there on the path? The different things that I've read and heard, it seems so precise and so concrete. You have to travel a certain way, and certain things happen to you in each stage. When you get to our ultimate destination, is that it? For eternity, is there any room for change, or do we remain in a changeless state? It just makes me feel that there should be, maybe God can evolve more. Has it always been the same?
God always have been the same. God doesn't differ. He's only one God and is always the same. I don't know what you are trying to ask. Be a little clear.
Teachings, does it ever imply that there's room for change, that maybe God will evolve, or
Change for with whom?
all the souls that go, as when we go back to our, I realize this is far-fetched. I've thought about it some, and I just wonder, does it ever state in the teachings that there's that maybe that God can change or move on to other? It's hard for me to grasp the fact that when we reach a certain place, that's it for eternity.
You mean we may have to come back?
Come back or move or move on to another plane.
Well, let us reach there. Then we see where else we are moved. From where else we can move from the Father? Nothing beyond Father. Lord always have been the same. His divine design always have been the same. Cosmic law always has remained the same. As Christ says in the New Testament, right from the beginning of the creation till the end, not a comma has been changed, nothing has been eliminated or added to the teachings of the mystics. Their approach differs according to our level of understanding and to the people they are trying to reach. But the essence of the teaching always has remained the same, that of sound and light. Withdrawing your consciousness to the eye center, being one with the light and sound within, and then travel to our destination. There may have been many schools of thoughts, many other techniques and methods of withdrawing your consciousness to the eye center, but from there onward, it has got to be the same. It is same for everybody in this creation, and it has always remained the same. There never has been any difference in this at all. The essence of their teachings always have remained the same. And that is the base of spirituality, on which the teaching of the mystic stands and flourishes and blooms. They only come to share with us their spiritual experiences, those spiritual teachings, that the path which we have to follow. They don't come to create any religions or divide us into small channels, into communities or into religions or into countries and all that. That is why Christ said, I've come with a sword. Their only purpose is to cut our attachments from this creation and take us back to the Father. Give it any name, call it any religion, give it any name. They have no other purpose in this creation. We people generally don't understand the essence of their teachings and give ourselves to the rituals, ceremonies and dogmas and try to hold people, always arrest their teaching into small organizations, small institutions. Then slowly and slowly it takes the shape of a religion. Any teaching of any mystic, when it comes to the hands of a paid preacher, it is bound to become a religion sooner or later. Because it becomes a question of bread and butter for them. That is why Christ warned his disciple, I've given you free, and you should give people free. Don't fill your pockets with gold and silver. He didn't want any paid preachers at all. Yes.
Maharaji, when things please us or they're easy, it is easy to love them. But when you have difficult karmas, how can one adapt an attitude of love for things that are not so easy?
It is easy to love when your karmas are easy?
Yes.
What do you mean by karmas are easy?
When things are happy or they're comfortable.
Then what is your concept of love? Love whom?
Well, just that when things are difficult, I guess emotions come in the way of love.
Sister, love, you see, when it becomes passion, When it comes, its tendency is downward, it becomes a passion. When its tendency is upward, it becomes emotions. It is same love. We also love individuals, we also love the Lord. But there's a great difference.
When we have difficult karmas, it's as though we want to move away from the difficult karmas.
You can never escape from your karmas. You see, you can change your attitude towards what you are going through, but you cannot change those events of life. You cannot escape those, you see, from those events of life. You can change your attitude of facing those events of life. And happiness lies in adjusting to those events of life and not running away from those situations. Because you can never run away.
You adjust to the situation, you can rise above it. So that
Yes, you have to rise above that you are not affected. Good and bad will come. All days are not always good, all days are not always bad. And this destiny is nothing but our human birth is nothing but a combination of good and bad karmas. So we have to account for both. So sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are miserable. So we have to live with the both. You cannot change the events of weather, but you can always adjust to the events of weather as not to be affected by it. Summer has to come, winter has to come. You can't avoid it. But prepare yourself for summer, it will pass. Prepare yourself for winter, it will go. You won't shiver. If you refuse to adjust to the events or to the weather, you are the one to suffer. Because you have no control over the weather.
that when you want to adjust, there's something that holds, that won't let go. And how can you let go?
Well, when the karma will be over, it will automatically go. We should keep our attention into meditation. It will give us source of strength to face those karmas without being much affected by them, without losing our balance. See, if death happens in a family, one person accepts the facts that everybody has to go. His turn has come and he has gone, and he was a good soul. Other person makes it a question of death and life at the departure of that person. And he suffers. He weeps, he cries, he howls, but he is not going to come back. Sooner or later he will have to accept the situation. He has no control over it. So karma is the same for both of them, but there is a difference in their attitude to that event of life. So by meditation, we develop that attitude to accept what comes in our way. You cannot blow off good karmas, you cannot blow off bad karmas. We have to face them. Yes?
Is it true that the worst sin that we can commit as a human being is that of hatred and discrimination?
That?
Of hatred or discrimination that we as a human being can commit.
Hatred? What do you mean by hatred?
Discriminating, disliking someone, being horrible to someone. antagonistic towards someone?
You see, actually, when we hate somebody, we are attached to the person. We also create attachment by hating somebody. The same type of attachment as we create by loving the other person. Because our hate becomes obsession with us. And we can't get rid of that hate. And then it creates a desire to take revenge. And desire are the roots of our sins. Yes.
Maharaji, is falling in love in the worldly sense, is that always a negative influence to be avoided?
Well, if it pulls to the passions, naturally it's a negative. If it pulls towards the father, it's not negative. Yes.
Master, withdrawing the current to the eye center is described as a very slow process. It's compared to an ant crawling up a wall, and sometimes the ant falls and it has to start all over again.
Yes.
Doing Simran at this stage is described as a very dry process. It's compared to sucking on a dry stone.
That's right.
That's right. Controlling the mind at this stage is described as a fierce battle. It's described as a lifelong task to bring it under control.
Mm-hmm.
You said a moment ago that there's many schools of thoughts about withdrawing the currents.
You see, there are many systems for withdrawing your consciousness to the eye center.
Getting at is, I seem to have some strong sanskaras, if I pronounce that word right, from a previous life toward the practice of Kriya Yoga Pranayama. Isn't there a very strong connection between the breath and the life force?
No, there's no connection at all. Absolutely no connection. Saints, after experience, have found this simple method, easier method. So many complications you create in pranayama. And you need a constant guidance, constant supervision, always. And so many complications you create within your body, and yet you hardly achieve anything. This breathing has nothing to do with concentration. This is the normal function of the body. We have to control the mind. Mind doesn't come into your breathing. You try to do breathing exercise, mind may be wandering anywhere in the world. Because habit of thinking about something or another is always there. So, you see, saints and mystics have evolved this simple method and sure method of withdrawing back. You see, many people used to contemplate on statues. For example, they will try to fall in love with the statue, do so much dhyan, 24 hours of the statue. The thought, when our mind concentrates in the statue, we'll be able to withdraw it and then hold it eye center. The result is that it will always remain in the statue. It will become difficult to come back to the eye center. And there was once a school of thought in the Persia, to love with the young girls or boys. And then they thought probably we'll be able to withdraw our mind when our mind concentrates wholly in that boy or that lady. We will be able to pull it back to the eye center, but it could never come back. They will just got obsessed and ultimately fell to the passions. So there are many school has been practiced by many people. But saints, after studying all that or going through all that, this is the best method they have told us. But after eye center, there's no other way. There's only one method. If the Lord is one, and He is within everyone, and He has made us all alike, and path leading back to Him can also be one. It cannot be two. So mystics always refer to that path, which is the only one within us. Yes.
Then on a practical level, is this a path of Simran or is this a path of Bhakti?
Path of?
Simran versus Bhakti.
The same thing, there's no difference. Simran leading you to Bhakti. Simran is given to you by the Master, not by anybody else. So since you have love in the Master, faith in the Master, so you are doing Simran, as instructed to you by the Master. So it creates also love for the Master. Dhyan is nothing else but creating the love for the Master. This is the path of Bhakti. Yes.
When practicing bhajan, what I understand is that we're to listen to whatever sound we can hear on the inside, and that we're not to do simran, and we're not to practice dhyan at that time. And my question comes that I have a problem in that my mind starts thinking. The thoughts keep coming up.
Sister, try to concentrate to the sound, whatever you hear. The idea is if you start doing Simran, you may weave away from the Simran, from the Shabad. So create a habit of hearing the Simran. Hearing the sound. Slowly and slowly you will start hearing it. And Simran helps you to be there from where you can be pulled upward. It doesn't mean that when we are doing Simran, sound is not there. Sound is there. You can't switch off and on one or the other. When we are doing Simran, sound is there. But we are improving our concentration to be there by Simran. Then we try to hear the sound. Yes?
Concentration and practicing listening that will hold the attention.
Yes. And some people think probably by changing a posture we lose the concentration. That's wrong. Concentration is of the mind. It's not of the body. By doing Simran, we are training our mind to concentrate, to be there at the eye center, not the physical body. So our attitude of being there by concentration is developing by Simran. But if you're fighting with the body or keeping the posture, your mind rather runs down. It's in your way of concentration rather. So we should never strain our body or fight to keep the posture. As much as comfortably we can sit. Otherwise there's no harm in changing a posture. We don't lose any concentration by changing a posture. Yes?
Raji, does that lower sound also have a purifying effect?
Yes, every sound has a purifying effect because it will lead you to be higher and higher. It will become distinct and clearer and start pulling with the help of Simran or concentration. Yes?
So whatever sound comes, that's what we follow. We don't try to sort it out.
You should never. Otherwise you'll be lost. Which one is this? What I do? Because it is not your hand to discriminate there, you see. You'll be lost. So you keep your mind in Simran and with the help of concentration automatically other sound fades away. And that particular sound becomes distinct and clearer and pulling. Yes.
And the sound become pulling before you completely withdraw.
Yes, sound is the one which pulls you upward. Yes.
When one is meeting these past associations or sanskaras, like I met with a group of people, what can one do in one's attitude? Is there a decision? Can one make a decision and discriminate if it's leading one away from the path? Or should one just wait or go along and wait until the attraction is?
Well, brother, you're traveling by train. You meet all sorts of passengers in the train. When your destination comes, you get down on the platform. You're not so much swayed away by the pleasant time you had with them that you forget to get down at your own platform, own station, and goes with them. And neither they will get down with you. So many people come in our life, they come and go. Because we have so many karmic relationships, we have to discharge so many karmic accounts with so many people. So we should not be so swayed away to forget our destination when it comes. We have to keep our mind in our destination, that my destination is coming from where I will get down. So we can't avoid their meeting. If you get a pleasant companion in train, you have a good time. Sometimes you get unpleasant people, well, even that time will pass. So many people come in by different directions to a hotel. You all meet, lounge here and dining room here, and you laugh and talk about. But you don't like to miss your flight when your time comes. So same attitude we should have with everybody we meet in life. Yes.
Maharaji, what do you do, or do you have any advice for those of us who on sunny days worry about the cloudy ones?
They should enjoy the sunny day and forget about the cloudy ones. I can only advise that. Yes.
Books they describe the astral region, and I've read other books from other philosophies that describe the astral region. And in some of them they say there are worlds like this, and some of them say you have an astral body and all this.
You see, it has to be described through words, through literature, and nobody can describe that. And no words will describe that. Even the regions which are explained to us in the books, saints, mystics, there is a very poor explanation which they could give it. But there's nothing to do with the words. Because they're so beautiful, they will call it diamonds and rubies, and you see, because these things are too beautiful for us. We think them they are too precious. So they explain us in that way. It doesn't mean there are diamonds and rubies or palaces. It's a way of expression.
What I mean is, like, do they eat food there?
It's better to go there and enjoy it. You are worrying of being starved? Yes.
If during our meditation we become dizzy or lose our equilibrium at all, is that anything to worry about, or should we stop and collect ourselves, or is that just something we should go with?
You see, how do you lose your equilibrium in meditation?
How?
How do you lose your equilibrium in meditation? The question doesn't arise. How can one lose equilibrium in meditation? One can become dizzy, I can understand. Just feeling like sleepy. So don't lose your mind in meditation.
Maybe it's the perspective that kind of changes, or
Hmm?
the perspective of feeling of things.
Try to explain it, please.
Well, an example was today I felt myself spinning around like
Mind was running out. Mind was running about, or then what do you mean by spinning around?
I felt as if I was on a merry-go-round, going around in a circle, as if I was drunk, as if I had been drinking. It was really weird. I didn't
You
understand.
see, sometimes we do feel dizzy because it just a step to sleep. Drowsiness. Drowsiness you do. But otherwise you don't lose your equilibrium. You don't lose your mind. Mind of course runs out. But you don't lose your balance, or mentally you lose your mind. Yes.
Some time ago, many times, I feel like in the sea. It's a sensation of like in the sea with the storm way inside when I meditate.
When you see it, or you
She feels it.
I feel
In fact, she's on the
that
sea.
if I were on the sea.
you are being swayed away by something, that you are being swayed away by waves or anything.
I do Simran, and meanwhile, I feel like all my being is in a way, I'm not going in a way.
I don't understand that feeling. See, either the physical or it is mental. If you feel uncomfortable, you should leave the meditation for a few minutes. And you can walk about and then again sit in meditation. We don't have to stretch ourselves too much or too much fight with the uncomfortable. You see, whether mentally or physically or anyway. You can leave it for a few minutes, then again you can attend to it. Yes?
I find the more that I try to discipline my mind, the more that it rebels. And then I end up getting angry at my mind. And that doesn't do me any good.
It's natural, sister. The more we suppress, the more it reacts. That is the habit of the mind.
Anger.
You become angry with yourself. Don't become angry with yourself. Just continue with your meditation. Because mind doesn't want to be tamed. When you try to put any horse in a tonga, it resists. It doesn't want to lose its freedom. So then the trainers train the horse, and then it becomes all right. So similarly, mind always rebels in meditation and creates all sorts of problems in meditation. Because it doesn't want to be tamed, doesn't want to be controlled. So we have to face these situations, but we have to continue with meditation. Yes?
What I'm kind of learning, it seems we should take it serious, but not too serious.
What? Take serious what?
Take the meditation and the Satmat path seriously.
Yes.
But
What is the
yet,
difference between serious and too serious?
not too serious.
What is the difference between them?
It's where we end up feeling bad all the time about our failure.
Well, brother, it should be a part of our daily routine and daily life. We have to live it. It's a part of our life. It should become a part of our life. Whether you are serious about it or too serious, it's just a comparative word, you see. We should be serious about our meditation and sincere to our meditation. Yes?
I make a request to work my way up from the astral plane rather than come back here. You said yesterday that you come back here because it's negative, and it compels us to...
You may be serious, but it depends upon your karma and attitude of the mind now. If you attend to meditation, there's no need of even going to the astral world or even coming here. Why should we even think that I will have to come here or even have to stay in the astral world? Our aim should be only to go back to the Father. Why should we even plan these steps in the way? We shouldn't plan them. Then leave it to the Father to do what He thinks best. Our aim and object is to go back to Him. Yes?
It says in the Santmat literature, and I believe this to be true, that the Master is a jealous lover. And I'm having some difficulty because I have to share you outwardly with all these people plus some 500,000 or more. And sometimes in satsang I can't see. Sometimes, I want to be with you just personally like a friend. And I'm restricted from doing that. And so I'm getting a real feeling that what I'm supposed to do is go inside and get my radiant form inside, and then I can have that personal relationship. But it seems almost impossible, except for an interview, maybe 5 or 10 minutes in my life, to be able to actually see you physically.
You have not understood that meaning. Christ says in the Bible, if you love your father and mother more than me, you are not worthy of me. It is the same thing what you read in Santmat. He says, if you love them more than me, you are not worthy of me. Unless you become worthy of me, you cannot become worthy of the Father. So we have to detach ourselves from everything and put our all attention in the Master. Question of jealousy doesn't arise. The lover is concerned with his love. He is not concerned with the love of the other people. Lover is happy in his love for the beloved. That is real love. He is not in love with the beloved. He doesn't want that she should not talk to anybody at all in the world. He is happy in the happiness of the beloved. And that is love. So there is no jealousy in love. If jealousy is there, then possessiveness is there. In love there is no possessiveness. There is only giving. Nothing to possess. It is all giving, resignation, submitting, no demands. That is love. And love with the Master means drawing our all attention from the outside world and attaching ourselves primarily to the Shabad within. That is love with the Master, who is our constant companion and who is our real Master and who is our real love. You see, we are never jealous of anybody loving the Lord. No, we become so happy if we find a lover of the Lord, aren't we? We are always happy to find a lover of the Lord. Why should we be jealous if we find a lover of the Master? Don't we think him a Lord? It means our concept of love is wrong. If he is Lord, then there should be no jealousy. We are so happy to meet the lover of the Lord, devotee of the Lord. We run after them to be in their company. So if our Master is Lord, then how can we be jealous of his about him? Either we don't take him as Lord. You will not find any jealousy or jealous of lover of the Father. You're so happy to create love for the Father in somebody's heart. You want your whole family to be in love with the Father. You want your all friends to be in love with the Father. You want your all citizens to be in love with the Father. So same attitude has to be adopted towards the Master. So question of jealousy doesn't arise. Jealousy only arises when we look at him as a human, not as God. When we take him as human, then naturally jealousy will come. If we accept him as Father, then the question of jealousy doesn't arise. Lovers are always happy to meet the lovers. And those who have been able to see the lover within, the Father within, they see the Father in everyone. So they see the Master in everybody. And they are happy to see the Master in everybody. That doesn't make them jealous, that makes them happy. Because they strengthen our own love. They help to grow our own love. Jealousy only comes when we only look at him as human. That's all. Yes?
Professor Bhatnagar used an example one time that we are like a man who has fallen into a well, and a passerby comes and offers to throw him a rope. And the man in the well says, "Well, how did this well get here? How did I fall in? How do I know it won't happen again?" And pretty soon the passerby gets tired and walks away. The problem I'm having is that the well I've fallen into is so dark that I cannot even find the rope. What should I do?
The one who is throwing the rope within, he will also shout to catch hold of the rope. Fortunately, he has the eyes and he has the tongue to shout. He can locate you, he can shout for you, and he can throw the rope. Yes?
Does it sometimes happen, Master, that a satsangi goes inside and crosses the first and second regions without seeing anything inside?
Satsangi passes through the region without seeing anything? Yes, it is always with the Master, it sees the Master. Only with the help of the Master it passes through all the regions.
Pass through those regions without seeing those regions?
Yes, mostly without seeing those regions. Because the soul is so much absorbed in the Master, doesn't want to see anything else at all. It can if it wants, but it doesn't want. Once you have crossed through that region, then you may come back and see that region if you feel like. But at that time, generally, it's not allowed. The soul is always absorbed in the Master. Yes?
What is the, let me start over. Is concentration the exact same thing as love? Or is there a difference between
Concentration and
love?
what?
Is concentration the exact same thing as love?
That's love.
Love.
Love. You see, concentration is different than love. Concentration means we're trying to withdraw our consciousness to the eye center and trying to keep it there. Hold it there. That is concentration. Love will develop when we are attached to the Shabad within. And tendency of the soul becomes upward and inward. Attitude of the soul is always towards the Father then. Then the love starts growing and developing. That is real love. But concentration gives you peace and bliss and happiness. The more mind is scattered in this creation, more unhappy we are. The more we are concentrated, are able to hold our attention in the eye center, the more happy we automatically become.
A few days ago, you said that when love is directed downwards, it's passion. When it's directed upwards, it's emotion. Even a good speaker can create a mild emotion. My question is, can emotion be of value? Is it to be trusted? And what value is emotion in St. Matt?
Well, brother, love is same. There's only one word in the English, love. Sometimes it becomes a passion, sometimes it becomes a devotion. So we try to differentiate. Tendency is downward, then of course it's passion. Tendency is upward, of course it is devotion, call it emotion. What are there to trust the devotion or emotion? I don't know.
Saying emotion is still the mind.
Of course, love begins with the mind. Soul is already in love with the Father. You don't have to create any love in the soul for the Father. It is already there. It is yearning to become one with the Father. It is only helpless due to the mind. Because tendency of the mind is outward and downward to the senses. Soul is only helpless. We are not creating love in the soul. Soul is already full of love and devotion for the Father. It is just helpless. So we have to create this devotion, or you call it emotion, in the mind for its destination, towards its destination first. That is just trying to lift the weight from the soul. And then soul automatically goes back to the Father.
We have to try and control that emotion.
What do you mean by control over the emotions?
And become very powerful.
You see, by my concept of emotion is not downward tendency of the mind. It's upward tendency of the mind. Attitude of the mind is towards the origin, towards its own origin, towards the Father. That is what my concept of emotion and devotion is. Yes?
Hey, so Sangi from Switzerland here has asked me to ask this question to you since he doesn't speak English well. He feels in his time here at Dera that he feels very strong up and downs. Almost every day it's different and much more abstract than at home. Is that somehow, why would that be?
What does he mean by up and down?
One day he feels really in a sad mood or just unhappy, and another day he'll feel very light and good.
You see, mind doesn't always remain the same because we always analyze ourselves too much. Even if we are in love, we start analyzing our love, its depth. Sometimes, you see, because it's the mind which analyzes. Sometimes, oh no, we are absolutely dry, we have no love at all. We always are in the habit of analyzing our every little detail, things in detail is too much. This is our own attitude of the mind. It always remains the same. And moreover, all days always doesn't remain the same. Sun is always shining, but sometimes there are clouds. Sometimes thick or thin. But that doesn't mean sun is not shining. Sun is always there.